Ray, let's talk about ERP refresh and ERP replacement projects. Many CIOs that we talk to here at Rimini Street, they don't believe replacing their core foundational ERP structure, refreshing those systems is a priority for them right now. They don't see it providing the competitive advantage that they're looking for. It's not going to provide the growth, and they'd be rather investing in systems that's going to drive those revenue and cost objectives. What is your thought on ERP migration replacement projects? Would you agree with some of those views?
It really depends on your business and how fast that business is changing. But for the most part, in finance, in HCM, right, your core areas there, and even operations and supply chain, if you're basically moving so fast, if you're basically creating a lot of flexibility, someone's going to jail, right? I mean, this is finance. I mean, this is HR. The rules are pretty set, right? So we see that kind of scenario occur where you just want to make sure your pace of change is aligned with your business strategy. So it always starts with the business strategy, figure out what that is, understand the level of change, then understand whether you should make that ERP upgrade or not. In some cases, if you've been running something 30 years and you haven't made an upgrade, you might want to consider that, right? That's the extreme. On the other hand, you may be on a product which is no longer, what people would consider mainstream for the vendor, and there's a lot of pressure to get you to move off of that. Then you're in a different scenario. In that case, what you do is want to think about, do I want to make the replacement? Do I want to keep running it? But most companies, 80% of companies are happy with their existing systems. They've took 2-3 years to implement them. They've been stabilized for like the last 5 to 6 years. They're happy with it. And there's not a lot of big changes they want to make there. Most of the updates and security and regulatory and tax are available. So it's not like it's going to change their world. Those companies really are probably not going to make the upgrade, and they're going to push it off as long as they can.
Right. Now, continuing that thread, Ray, what's your advice for CIOs, especially if they are faced in that situation where they're being forced by the vendor with support deadlines coming up, or being asked to move to the cloud when there's no clear ROI or business case? What do you advise CIOs today when they're faced with that situation and need to pick one path versus the other?
We always tell customers and our clients and prospects that the number one thing they should do is always consider the third-party maintenance option. Because here, to be quite honest, right? I mean, the money you're paying for maintenance, if you're not getting a lot of value for that along the way, and now you're being asked to do an upgrade, why are you upgrading, right? Why are you upgrading? That's money you could save right off the bat to go to innovation projects, to go to transformation. That's FTEs you can save. That's a lot of opportunities there. And here's the kicker. If you don't buy that software for the next 10 years, you've actually paid for it. You saved up to buy the next version. So there's no point, right? So why are you paying maintenance at full cost, getting very little capabilities that you're not necessarily going to see going forward. And at the same time, you're going to have to pay for that again, right? Once you make the next set of upgrades. So it doesn't make sense, right? You really should consider the cost benefit analysis of what you're doing on a third-party maintenance basis, right? And you also have to think about, what is your ERP usage like? So we recommend all folks to, if they're going to do that, to make sure they understand, what their user profile looks like, what their landscape looks like, their business requirements. But for most people, it makes a lot of sense to use that cash towards innovation.